Good morning. The administration staff and students of Manzano High School would like to extend a special welcome to loved ones, friends, and community members to our 2022 Commencement ceremonies. Today marks Manzano High School's 60th graduation ceremony.
The administration of Manzano High School requests that we honor each and every graduate. Many friends and family members are in attendance this morning to honor their graduates. Please refrain from air horns and extended hollers so that every graduate's name can be heard and honored. Thank you for also keeping social distance guidelines. We will continue to follow the Manzano tradition after each graduate with a Manzano clap.
We would like to continue with the tradition of hosting a dignified graduation. This includes standing respectfully and quietly during the presentation of colors, as well as waiting until the colors have left the floor.
At this time, will you please stand and greet our graduates?
We ask that you remain standing in the stars for the Star-Spangled Banner, as performed by Manzano's Concert Choir, and the presentation of colors by the National Naval Junior ROTC, under the direction of Commander Timothy Kurtz and First Sergeant Matthew McMiniman. Today, Color Guard is commanded by Cadet Commander Joseph Trussell, a graduating senior and 4-year member of JROTC program.
Please remain standing respectfully and quietly until the color guard has exited. You may now be seated.
Parents and guests are asked to keep all aisles clear during the entire ceremony. This is by request of the fire department. Those wishing to take pictures must do so from their seats, and we ask that you remain in the seat so that you don't block the view of others. An official photographer will be taking pictures of each graduate receiving a diploma.
Good afternoon, and welcome to all of our guests. I am Rachel Vigil, and I am the proud principal of Manzano High School. At this time, please allow me to introduce our stage guests that are accompanying me today. Student Body President, Brianna Allen. Student Body Vice President, Hannah Granados Ramirez. Student Body Treasurer, Ashley Patson. Valedictorian, Jaden Edgar. Salutatorian, Juliana McDonald. Salutatorian, Mason Parrish. Salutatorian, Maxwell Parrish, and salutatorian Isabel Spatz. APS Board Member Josefina Dominguez, APS Chief Operations Officer Dr. Gabriela Blakey, APS Associate Superintendent for Learning Zone 1, Mr. Eugene Saavedra, Assistant Principal of Curriculum and Instruction, Mr. Jason Sanchez, and Assistant Principal of Buildings and Grounds and Special Education, Mr. Arvis Vonner. Good afternoon, and welcome parents, families, esteemed faculty, honored guests, and the coolest class I know, the class of 2022. Isn't it exhilarating? Everyone here is to celebrate you. You sit here steeped in knowledge, memories, friendship, and so much love. All you have learned and all that you have experienced will serve as your foundation in the next chapter of your lives. Some of you have already decided exactly where you want to go. Others are waiting to see where life leads you. Clearly, the waves of possibilities are endless, infused with opportunity every step of your way. No matter what you choose, your life as an adult will be different than the life as you have known it. The challenges will be greater, but so will the rewards, because they will be of your own making, based on your personal choices. Hence, your choices will matter more. Your attitude will determine more, and your effort and tenacity will be of the essence. It is important that you remember that hope for a better world lies in the faces of the graduates throughout the nation, but especially those that are sitting before me today. So I encourage you to approach the future with all of the imagination within you. In the words of Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling, imagination is not only the uniquely human capacity to envision that which is not, but also it is the fount of all invention and innovation. Seniors, if you can imagine it and you believe in it, you can certainly achieve it. Wherever your imagination-fueled journey takes you, navigate it with kindness, integrity, and a clear and present view of all that you can achieve and all that you will become. Like the monarchs you are and will always be, go forth and do great things. And remember to always bleed purple. Congratulations, class of 2022. I am so incredibly proud of you. You did it. We will now have speeches from our honored students that are sitting with us here on stage. Jaden Edgar, this year's valedictorian for the class of 2022 with an impressive 4.725 weighted GPA. And this year's salutatorians, which we have four: Juliana McDonald, Mason Parrish, Maxwell Parrish, and Isabel Spots, all with an impressive GPA of a 4.65 weighted GPA.
Good afternoon, Manzano faculty, staff, families, guests, and my fellow graduates. On the first day of freshman year, Mr. Duran told my biology class, "These will not be the best 4 years of your lives," and then went on to explain all the terrible things we might endure as high schoolers in extreme detail. Even though in that moment these words terrified me, this phrase became a pillar for the next 4 years of my life, one which I have leaned back on and has held me steady. There's a quote from the television series Mad Men describing nostalgia. It says, "Nostalgia, it's delicate but potent." In Greek, nostalgia literally means the pain from an old wound. It's a twinge in your heart far more powerful than memory alone. It lets us travel the way a child travels, around and back home again, to a place where we are known and loved. Looking back on these last 4 years, it will be tempting for you to travel back to a place where you felt known and loved. It will be tempting for you to let that twinge in your heart triumph over the truth of your memory. But as the film Midnight in Paris reminds us, nostalgia is also denial of a painful present, one that paints the past to reflect optimism and creates a false narrative. My encouragement to you, friends, is please do not forget to remember. When the highlight reel plays, when you tell your children about prom, the senior game, graduation, please don't neglect the other montage of moments, those not as rose-colored but much more impactful. Please do not forget to remember the 3-week spring break that turned into a year of lost community, a year of isolation, a year of disconnection, a year of grieving normalcy not yet regained and forever altered. Please do not forget to remember the strength it took to get up that one morning and the courage demanded from you just to make it through the day, when you were so burnt out and worn down and discouraged. Please do not forget to remember when your expectations remained unmet, when you lost that game, when you failed that test, when that relationship ended. Please do not forget to remember all the people who are not standing with us today. Don't forget the first day you faced that empty desk, that vacant space which can never be filled, and everything preceding that moment. The realization that life is precious and fragile, that you and I do not have a permanent place on this earth, and that tomorrow is not promised. Please do not forget to remember. These moments, the quiet ones, which we have shut up and tucked away neatly, these are the moments which should be held in highest reverence. These are the stories that are imperative to share. They are a holy ground, sacred and binding us to one another and revealing our humanity. And please don't hear what I'm not saying. Nostalgia isn't necessarily evil on its own. I believe it is in our nature to long for what is good because we were not created to live in a fallen world. It is only when we begin to deny our present moments and give the past full reign over the now does nostalgia become detrimental. This is where we lose our sense of selves. It is the moments of vulnerability and adversity that not only shape our person, but also shape our fondness for the good. And when we deny these moments, we deny our most honest forms. And true honesty is the only place where you can be fully known and fully loved. This is the place we should ache to return to. And friends, we have all existed in this space. My story might be drastically different from yours, but I believe this suffering is universal, experienced in dissimilar ways, but experienced nonetheless. We have a phrase in my house, never stop starting, and that might just be what we need to remember about our 4 years together. All those starts, false starts, and restarts. These are the moments that, when shared, create the embodied hope needed to persist and to help others persist. There is commonality in suffering, there's community in grieving, and these are the spaces where compassion is found. So please do not forget to remember. Thank you.
Thank you, Jaden. Good afternoon, friends, family, and fellow graduates. To start off, I would like to say it is truly my honor to speak before you today as one of your salutatorians. I know that for me, today has always seemed far off in the distant future. We started high school with a whole freshman year to a shortcut sophomore year, then we lived through an ongoing pandemic, had a junior year of hybrid learning, and then a senior year with cyber attacks, all of which have led us here today to the graduation of the class of 2022. Looking back over the last few years, COVID has forcefully shifted our view of high school in the world. Rather than high school being our entire lives, it became part of a bigger picture. Whether you had family to take care of, a job to work, or any other time-consuming endeavor, school for all of us got put into our homes and personal spaces more than it ever had before. With that, we learned to be unapologetically ourselves in all facets of our lives in order to distinguish ourselves in the places we choose to exist in. Along with discovering ourselves in COVID quarantine, we also learned that an inherited perception of normal life is not something that can be promised to us or even expected. We have learned that we must continue to grow in an ever-changing world, and our understanding of our success must adapt along with it. Today, there are so many more career avenues for us to explore in this post-pandemic world. From online jobs, working through social media, or jobs that can now be done from in your own home. There is no longer a formulated future that works for all of us as we go from high school into the real world. For us as a class, success is no longer about achievement and acclaim, but dedication and diligence to our goals and dreams. This graduation is the recognition of 4 years of our dedication. Dedication to the classes we've taken, the setbacks we have overcome, and the successes we've had. This ceremony is an important acknowledgement of all of our hard work and an opportunity to reflect back as we move forward to the future. I could not be prouder to stand here today, a part of this graduating class, and I could not be prouder of all of my fellow graduates. I wish each and every one of you success in the paths you decide to take and the ones you might not expect. As we leave here today into the next chapter of our lives, always remember to be driven by passion and to live authentically in order to truly live. Thank you.
Good afternoon, monarchs, families, and faculty. I'm gonna be honest, I have no clue how to start this because, like all of you are probably doing now, I didn't pay attention to the speeches that were given at graduations I've attended. But that's okay, I don't mind if you don't listen. I wouldn't listen to myself either. All jokes aside, I have a message I would like to share with you all, and I'll try my best to make it short. Consider the last 4 years that we've been through. It's been a whirlwind, hasn't it? A brand new school, a brand new way of going about our days with freshman year. The abrupt end to a sophomore year that we all figured would be an extended break, spring break. The year of online when we were juniors, stuck at home, isolated from those we were used to seeing every day. The messiness of senior year with restrictions and guidance changing almost daily. It's been hard, hasn't it? But we made it through. All of us here today, we got through it. That's no small feat. The strength and endurance we've had to get to the end, really, it's massive. But it's not really an end, is it? Now, I don't mean to sound cliche, but this really is a new beginning of sorts. After today, we're all off on our own, making our own decisions about what's next. College, trade school, the military, or going out and finding a career right away. It's all up to us now. And that's going to be hard. The real world is going to be hard. Despite all that though, I know that we can make it through. I mean, think about it. We just made it through some of the hardest 4 years of our lives, much harder than an average person's 4 years in high school. We all endured through it. We all made it. So who's to say that we can't make it through what lies ahead? I'm here to say that we can, and we will. All of you here today, remember the challenges and the sacrifices you've had to make the past 4 years. Remember that, despite how difficult it was, that you fought through it all. And above all, know that you can do it again, that you can keep pushing through, that you can keep fighting through, that you can keep enduring to the end. Thank you.
Good afternoon, family, friends, and faculty. Last salutatorian speech, I promise. I'd like to start by saying that we as a class have achieved so much. For one, we have all arrived to this day after living through a pandemic and completing a full year of online school, which is a feat of its own. But more than that, I believe that we have established ourselves as a graduating class that has found individuality and independence in a difficult time. I've heard time and time again that we are the only class that has a full understanding of what a functioning year of high school looks like. More so, I believe that we are also the first class that had to discover independence during a time when it was safest to stay home. I personally got my driver's license 4 months before quarantine and my first job 2 months into quarantine. I had the means to get places and the money to pay for goods on my own. My life didn't revolve around school day in and day out as it had during my freshman year. And beyond all of that, I had more time to discover who I was as a person. Of course, I didn't truly take that opportunity. Instead, I decided to immerse myself in social media and binge watching shows as my form of escapism, as did many of us. But now, being asked to look back on high school retrospectively, I realize just how much independence we as a class have gained from that experience. I watched as my peers and I took on more responsibility and began to manage our own time. We became our own people, not simply teenagers. And from what I can tell, we have become people with aspirations, not people who understand ourselves and what we want from life. That doesn't mean that we have the world figured out, and nor does it mean that we know what our majors are going to be in college. It especially doesn't mean that we have an understanding of what our plans are after graduation. It means we have a better understanding of our place within ourselves and within our community. We have grown in a world that has gone through major changes of its own. We no longer have a concept of what life may look like. So instead, we have to develop our own paths. And sure, figuring out our paths may have ended in a few more absences than was necessary, and a class size that's smaller than it was freshman year. But we are the generation who has to figure out how to live our lives in a post-COVID world. There's no right or wrong way to live. All I ask is that you live your life the way you know, deep down, in your gut, is right for you. Of course, I'm not condoning murder or crime in general, but instead, I mean, if you've decided to go to college, live it up. If you decide not to go to college, live it up just as much. Because more than ever, I have faith in our generation's ability to live successfully in the world we've been given. To quote Eugene V. Debs, "Be true to yourself, and you cannot be a traitor to any good cause on earth." So, from what we have achieved so far by simply making it to this day, to everything I know we will do in the future, I hope each of you continue to listen to your instincts and do what feels right for yourself, even if a pre-pandemic world would consider it unconventional. Thank you.
It is my pleasure to welcome students, family, and faculty day to graduation for Manzano High School. Every one of you today has made an impact on the graduates who sit here today, myself included. My name is Brianna Allen, your student body president, but also known as Vitamin B or Bree. I know through this year we went through so many obstacles, but here's the most thing about obstacles. They aren't meant to be tackled alone. The people who had your back throughout these high school years, those friends who pushed you out of your comfort zone, forced you to do all crazy stuff, and make you laugh so hard you thought your head might explode. But then they could pull you in when you needed to know you weren't alone in this world. I would like to share a quote that I believe reflects on the class of 2022. "When you have a dream, you've got to grab it and never let it go." Carol Burnett. Looking back on my class, I've heard so many dreams and dream careers our graduates are wishing to become after this point. So if you have a dream, stay with that dream and never let it go. I would like to thank all staff and faculty members for supporting me in all the school events that I have joined. I truly appreciate the confidence that you showed in me, but most of all, I want to give a big thank you to my loved ones, family, that are sitting here today. Sorry. Especially my mom, grandpa, and grandpa who couldn't be here today. I know they're looking down on us today. Without your love, encouragement, and huge support, I wouldn't be here today with determination, giving the speech or walking across the stage. I would like to thank my fellow student body officers, Hannah, my wonderful positive vice president, and mostly the most sane of us of all, and Ashley, my treasurer, the hype person at every school event, along with Bianca. Lastly, certainly but not least, I would like to thank the lady that we all know today, the backbone of the whole entire school, the only person I know that can sing the whole Bobby Bones intro just to wake us up at 6:45 in the morning, but also has the best and hardest job as the amazing activities director, Ms. Carr. If some of you don't know Ms. Carr by now, she's the person that will bend over backwards to put her students first and extremely caring to everyone she meets. Ms. Carr, thank you for embracing me with a big hug on here at Manzano on the first day of my sophomore year. Up to this day, you are my biggest role model. Thank you.
It is now my pleasure to invite the class of 2022 to the stage to receive their diplomas. Distinguished stage guests and the 2017 Manzano Teacher of the Year recipient, Mr. Daniel Shanley, will you please join me on stage to welcome the graduates of the class of 2022.
As everyone gets in position. After each name is read, please join us in the traditional monarch clap. Graduates, could you demonstrate this for us, please? They always do it together every time. We like to start with our top 20 and then the student body officers, followed by the rest of the class of 2022. Jaden Edgar. Juliana McDonald. Mason Parrish. Maxwell Parrish. Isabel Spots. Ashley Paffett. Jackson DeBuck. Bryce Yearout. Adriana Vihill. Allison Cooley. Michaela Krozik. Mariana Madera. Kyrene White. Stephen Chavez. Guinevere Cowett. Bao Tran. Xander Caudillo. Camila Benavides. Jack Lewis. Ezra Liu. Brianna Allen. Hannah Granado Ramirez. Ashley Patson. Emari Abeta. Moises Abeta. Cadence Aguilar. Jessica Aguilar. Tamara Aguilar. Alejandro Alvarado. Ishmael Amaya. Felicia Anderson. Nicholas Anderson. Jocelyn Aragon. Trenton Arnaud. Kayla Arviso. Athena Avila. Brandon Baca. Aiden Bacon. Sebastian Baltazar. Alexander Barella. Megan Barney. Aria Bazan. Shaylin Benali. Nevea Benavides. Shamara Beverly. Megan Billings. Caleb Blaisdell. Braxton Bleakney. Danae Brown. Jaden Brown. Fabian Caballero Vargas. John Kane. Candice Canaday. Viridiana Carabello. Gino Carter. Gabriel Casares. Abraham Castorena. Brittany Chavez. David Chavez. Josiah Chavez. Samar Chelf. Norma Clanton. Talon Clark. Alexander Klontz. Angel Contreras. Olivia Costales. Jackson Del Castillo. Cameron Dennison. Christina De Vargas. Diana Demas. Hannah Shea Dolan. Amaya Dominguez. Alicia Duran. Giovanni Duron Campa. Sarah Edwards. Fiona Elliott. McLight Emma Asonye. Mariani Espinosa. Jonathan Fajardo. Isaiah Fodge. Andoni Gajo. Joshua Colton Gale. Bianca Gallegos. Reyes Gallegos. Alexis Garcia. Celeste Garcia. Isaiah Garcia. Mia Garcia. Eldon Gavin. Wilhelmina Gentry. Aiden Gibbons. Tanner Gillespie. Nevea Gibson. Getzi Gomez. Fabian Gonzalez. Carmen Gonzalez. Christopher Good. Jacina Gould. Matthew Gould. Joshua Green. Kimberly Guerra. Deidre Hagen. Tashana Hall. Mac Hannig Jr. Nicholas Henderson. Colin Herring. Alyssa Holguin. Tara Holloway. Lacey Horn. Michaela James. Aiko Johnson. Ariel Johnson. Josiah Jones. Maxqua Jower. Nathaniel Jurado. Catherine Lafferty. Dylan Langhoff. Carter LeBeau. Abraham Lemos. Gilbert Loretto. Rodney Lowry. Anaí Lazoya. Jaden Mackey. Shania Madrid. Tyler Mays. Nicholas Mandrell. Shanti Mariano. Charlize Martinez. Jeremiah McLean. Nicholas McCown. Emma Kate Means. Leonardo Medrano. Jared Melfi. Alex Myers. Emmeline Miller. Isaiah Mills. Yerodia Mlelewa, pardon me. Ariel Montano. Myra Montano. Jalera Marinia. Anis Nahera. Jasmine Narvaez. Mariana Narvaez. Kayla Nez. Tammy Nguyen. Anthony O'Leary. Amber Oglesby. Victoria Otero. Ariana Padilla. Trista Paris. Shania Patterson. Juan Penado. Amani Peters. Grace Peters. Lucille Pignatero. Isaiah Poblano. Jaden Quintero. Jason Rapp. Brandon Reyes. Jonathan Reynolds. Alexander Richard. Carmen Rincon. Madison Rogers. Estrella Rodriguez. Maciel Rodriguez Ramos. Yesenia Romero. Shaden Roy. Alondra Sabino Delgado. Roy Safford. Divinity Salguero. Abed Samadi. Jason Sanchez. Catalina Sanchez. Liliana Sanchez. Chloe Sanders. Lauren Santiago. Eduardo Saucedo. Jonathan Cedillo. Hannah Centeno. Santiago Serna Lucero. Jack Seuss. Isaiah Sharp. Alexander Silva. James Silversmith. Arwen Summers. Hunter Sweet. Joshua Tenorio. Milenko Terzic. Angelina Thomas. Brianna Torres. Leah Marie Trujillo. Joseph Trussell. Daniela Vargas. Joshua Vigil. Helena Villegas. Kiara Wally. Dylan Welch. Aubrey Wells. Dante West. Jeremiah Zimmerman. Share this one. We're at the ACUS board members. I can move.
Albuquerque Public School Board Member, The graduates before you have met all of the graduation requirements as set forth by the Albuquerque Public School Board of Education, along with the New Mexico Public Education Department. To you, Josefina Dominguez, I present the class of 2022.
On behalf of the Albuquerque Public Schools Board of Education, we accept this graduating class of 2022 from Manzano High School. Best wishes to all of you. Mil bendiciones.
Upon conclusion of the commencement ceremony, graduates will be escorted out. They will be reunited with their loved ones in the greeting area just in front of the Coliseum entrance. That way. Class of 2022, we would like to say to you that the memories we have shared through high school will always be deep within our hearts. Now, as a final act of unity, we will follow the Manzano tradition that the class moves their tassels together. Will the class of 2022 please rise? Please move your tassels from the right to the left. Ladies and gentlemen, I proudly present the class of 2022.